That's right. It's another episode of Let's Brick It Out, where I show you the tips, tricks, and techniques that go into my custom builds. Today, the main body of the spaceship. There's some cool overlapping, locking construction that goes into this, so stick around. But right now, let's roll that intro. All right, here we go. We're going to do the spaceship body today, and I've got it sort of semi-disassembled. This is the bottom part, and I know that because there's little knockouts for the landing gear, and there's a light lavender that I need to swap out at some point because I ran out of pieces. But you know, these things happen. I'm going to work on the top part. Let's start with the frame here. So the frame is pretty much a bunch of plates that are put in together. I've got some 1x in there. And the reason it looks kind of strange is this is a overlapping system. So these are meant to come together and mesh just so that what I'll do is I'll start putting these side plates on. And that's what's going to lock these two halves together. So if you look, you have to have one plate with a bracket, and then to line it up you need a second layer. And I sort of alternate the pattern before going back to the other mirror image plate, and the same with the bricks. So it's sort of like a jigsaw where they'll lock together. And then I'll come in here from the side with all of these brackets here and bind them together in the end. And that will give me studs facing down and up, and it's going to be symmetrical. So there's bilateral symmetry in there. So that's going to be one cool hint, is that I can make something and design it and then just flip it and mirror image it very quickly to make a lot of progress. So looking at this, here is the part that's going to go in here. It's just a couple of bricks, a little bit of plates, and then some plates that step up. I'm using the cheese slopes to kind of make a cascading effect down to here. This one already had a sticker applied to it. I thought that'd be fun, just to keep the sticker on there. And the idea is to have an azure blue racing stripe pattern come up and go around. And then the lavender is kind of what the color mix would be, halfway between the blue and that magenta color. So if I were to mix magenta and azure, maybe it'd come out in a lavender. Who knows? Just a little bit of color theory there. Overall, to shape the body, I'm using lots of tiles and these new macaroni or round tiles that come with dots as an effect to kind of smooth that out, transition into slopes. And I love curved slopes. So you can see this curved slope transitions nicely into this vintage computer brick from Classic Space. And then another one to kind of tuck it into this fairing using the bows or the curved slopes. There's a large curved slope in there, transitioning to the 4, coming to the 2. To give it the nice trailing edge. I love working with slopes. They give a nice, good, clean shape, I think, to the spaceship in the end. So one more time, if you see it from the side, right there. Long curved slope into a 4x, and then these guys flare out and gives it that nice little finished look. Now with the lavender on the top side, probably a friend's cars, I'm guessing. It's where that little bit of sticker came from. I figured why not keep it on there and use it. Keeps it fun and interesting. And the stickers were on there crooked, so I just had to kind of peel one of them and straighten it out. But why not leave them on there? There's a star, kind of a fun thing. Kind of makes it look like a spaceshipy thing. And then going in with these other curved slopes. And we're starting to see the shape of the main body. And then for this part, the transition into the windscreen is, I wanted to angle it up. And so I'm just using the hinge pieces there to lock this in and angle that into place so it lays right down in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and squish that in right now. And then see how that lies nice and flat with a little bit of transition in there. And not too much of a gap. There's a tiny little gap there, but you know, working out the slopes to clean that up would have messed up the design pattern of the striping. So I think it's close enough. Some of the stuff just has to be close enough. I'm gonna leave this open. And now it's time to lock the body together. So there's the sandwich. And once again, the other reverse side's a duplicate. Now this windscreen comes in the U-Wing, for Star Wars U-Wing. And it's the only set that has it, so that's why I only have one. I got it in a bulk lot, and then when I looked at buying a second one, it was way too much. They were running like $15 or $20 a pop. So I've ordered a Benny spaceship one and one in yellow. It just hasn't arrived. So by the deadline, just wasn't happening. I believe this, so if you look, there's some internal ones that notch in there. And I'm gonna slide that in there. And it has to be perfectly sandwiched for that. There you go. So there I've started to bind it from the inside. And I think, yep, I messed up the direction on that one. And that's a tough one to undo. You kind of have to rip. I'm gonna have to get in here and rip this back body off, which is always a bummer. Just so I can get that off. This time I'll do it correctly. As I fumble around. And let me bring in the other piece just to make sure. Yep, go sideways, there we go, give it a good pinch. Get that in there, lock it in. Get that part resting flat. While I'm here, oh, I don't believe I'm supposed to lock that in yet. That was a mistake. This should go in the back, if I recall. So yeah, so now I got the interiors locked in. And now it's time to go ahead and start locking in the back. This looks like a nice surface for me to attach to. I think that's somehow. Must be overlap that I forgot about. Something's out. I'm not for sure. That has to be there. How curious. Missed it somewhere. Might look at the photograph. Okay, I think it's this one. It's not quite right. Curious. Well, first one, I'll just turn backwards. So let's try that again. Is that right? I finally got it right. So originally I put it on backwards, but now I've got it straightened out. Sorry for that. Even the best builders get their stuff wrong. And I designed this thing. Should have known better. So, yep, the jumper plates go in the front. 2x8. Little bit of stuff in the back. Layer it in. Transitional piece for the wings. Get that snapped in. And let's squeeze it to make sure it's all locked together. You know, you could use a mallet if you wanted, but I have Technic fingers is what I call it, Technic grip. So I'm gonna squeeze this, get that lined in, closed. Looking good. Looking pretty good. And there you go, there's the main body. This is the top, there's the side, and that's the body. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've learned something great. As you can see, there's a lot of good details, a little bit extras. We've gone through the interesting outlines that I tried to put in there. Overall, pretty good build. Bye. And there we go, the main body of the spaceship. It's what holds everything together and has those style points going on. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I had a good time making it. And until next time, this is Let's Brick It Out and play well.